What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Diagnostics Done Right. We're here with a 2005 Honda Accord. I already disconnected the battery, but there's a no crank, no start. You come in, just nothing. But there was a humming under here. So I investigated. Turned out to be the ignition switch relay, which is the ground side of the starter. Well, yeah, I guess. Of the circuit. Of that leg of the circuit, at least. There we go. That's how I should say it. So, it turned out to be faulty ignition switch, which I assumed, just from the symptoms and finding out that was that relay. Of course, popped another one in, did the same thing. So we got a new ignition switch, and then still nothing. So the faulty, in my assumption, the faulty ignition switch shorted out the starter solenoid. So that is what we're doing today. And the starter is conveniently tucked right down in there. Bam. So that is our goal. We need to get the intake. There we go. Zoom out. We need to get the intake manifold off. I should be able to leave most of this stuff attached. We are going to take off the throttle cable and the electrical connectors, but then we should just be able to leave pretty much the throttle body alone. I don't want to disconnect coolant hoses if we don't have to. And then it's like I think 3 fasteners and a couple nuts on some studs, and we should be able to get this far enough out of the way that we can just get the starter out. So let's get to it. Most of the time I can't record. It's too hot and my phone overheats, but we got a nice overcast day. It's kind of cool out. So we got our 15-page service information just in case we run into any problems. It's all pretty straightforward. Get some of these like I said, get some electrical connections disconnected. I think I'll just take the whole throttle body bracket off so we don't have to mess with cables, none of that. We'll get some stuff out of the way and knock it out. So we'll set that aside just in case we need it. We'll get this engine cover off. Like I said, we do have the battery disconnected. She had just had the battery changed, so I'm not really concerned about code for the radio. If it's required, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Intake air temperature sensor, check. Might as well take half off. Get that out of its little cubby. Boom, boom. And a vacuum hose and breather pipe. So we got a vacuum hose right here. Get a little straight pick. There we go. Bam. And the breather is a little tiny Phillips. disconnect that just in case it's gotta come off. That has a spring on it. So there's no hose clamp here. I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this guy. Because that's connected all to a whole bunch of stuff. This thing off, pop this out, get that guy free. Bam. So what we did was, where are we at? There we are. So I'm not sure if that's positive crankcase ventilation or what, but we just pop that out of that guy. See if we can get this breather off of at least the throttle body. There's not really enough wiggle room. There. Now I gotta take the whole main airbox off. Inconvenient. It says it just comes off. Ah, there we go. All right. Oh. I was afraid of that. All right, we're motoring. I got a new one ordered up. No biggie. It happens. Get it taken care of. So we're just going to disconnect the throttle cable bracket. That way we don't have to mess with the cables. Just put it all right back together after we get this intake out of the way. Just in case we need some wiggle room, just free that up. We don't want to go kinking any cables. All right, remove the evap emissions canister hose, brake booster vacuum hose. Get our handy dandy hose clamp. That guy off. See if we can crack this hose loose. Bam. Pop that out, get it out of the way. I don't know about this one. Twist that to crack the seal loose, pop that guy off, and boom, out of the way. Right. manifold, absolute pressure sensor. Let me see, 2 sensors over here. And the bolts carrying wiring harness, which is right here. Oh, and my battery's about to die. We'll get motoring, we'll get this out of the way, and then we'll get to the starter. Alright, so about 10 minutes later, we got it free. Got plenty of access to get that starter out. There's a bracket down the bottom that it shows in service information that I completely forgot. I don't know if we can see it, but yeah, there's a bracket there. And then the 5 bolts. Well, 3 fasteners and 2 nuts, and then that's the one that holds the bracket in the bottom. Fairly easy starter. Just pop the electrical connectors off, and there's probably, I think, 2 bolts. Yeah, 2 main bolts, and that's it. We'll get it popped out and popped back in. All right, so after getting this wiring harness out of the way, we can squeeze a ratchet in there with an extension and bust that bottom bolt loose, which I already did right there. And then the top one sits like on a stud of a sort, and it just goes all the way through. So we'll get that last guy out and we'll get the new starter popped in. All right, so everything's back together. I ordered a new air intake breather hose, or breather pipe, whatever you want to call it. So we'll get that situated. New starter, boom, installed. Pretty easy. They want you to take coolant lines and off and all that, and then bleed the system when it's done, but it's just not necessary. Now that I've done this exact model, it won't take long next time this happens. But she's all done and put back together. And boom, cranks, starts. So yeah, this was a fun one. I didn't record the diagnostic process as far as the ignition switch, but you follow the symptoms and you'll find your answer. We'll see you guys next time.